Welcome to another insightful episode of Views and Opinions on Hill Media Africa. It's Oguneke Omotala on your screens again, and today our topic of focus is the religious life. Before we go any step further, we encourage you to like this video, share and also subscribe to be the first person to get notified once upcoming videos comes up. Religious life. Religious life can be termed living a consecrated life, whereas Christians set themselves apart solely to serve God and humanity. However, religious life is usually associated with the Catholic religion, and people who embrace this life are termed priests, nuns, monks, and so on. We bring you views from our street parliament concerning religious life and also an exclusive interview to get a view of what this exceptional vocation is about. Don't go anywhere, I'll be back with a wrap-up.
Okay, when they say Christian, is like Christ-like living.
I wouldn't mind becoming a priest.
I didn't be firewood.
Because I know being a Christian has really helped my life.
The active apostolic is one I live.
Now, living the life of a Christian, you understand, it means your personal relationship with God. Because religious living and Christian living, they are kind of different. Religious living, just like you're going to church, it's not the fact that you love God. Some people go to church just to make fashion, go to church just to see and check ladies, go to church just to have fun because of the praises and worship they do in the church. But religious living, which is the priesthood, like living as a priest, living as a Christ, there's a leadership quality you must have to possess. That leadership quality enables you to love. Are you getting my point now? You love, you care, because you are letting people to know Christ in you. You are seeing you are like a mirror to people's life.
I endeavor in my studies, throughout my days in school, religious life, like being a Christian, has really helped.
Well, religious life means everything, because without Christ, life is full of crisis. And I saw from the scripture that the Bible said that if they can obey and serve Him, that they will spend their days in pleasure and their years in prosperity.
The way you portray it as a believer or a child of God really helps to have a healthy relationship, and even in your partnership with your fellow human.
Priestlyhood, rather, is very taxing. Yes, it had to be a priest. In these our modern days. Yeah, so I can't be a priest.
Good day everyone, still on Views and Opinions on Hill Media Africa. It's Oguneke Omotala here again, and today we are still on religious life. In the kind of world where we live in, where religious life seems to be the backbone of every family and every community, religious life is perceived to be mandatory and not by identity. And with me to talk about this here is a woman of God. She is from the Messenger of Justice congregation in most states. She works in a community where the poor children, the aged, the sick, and the widows are taken care of. We welcome Reverend Sister and Okweji. Nice to meet you, ma'am. Thank you. We are so happy to have you here with us. So we'll go straight back to the questions, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. What do you think about religious life?
Okay, thank you for the opportunity given. Religious life is a way of life which we profess our baptismal vows. That is, it is a vocation, a call to live a particular kind of life that is radical in the footsteps of Christ. We can trace the religious living or the call from the Old Testament when God called Abraham, that is Genesis chapter 12, and asked him to leave his father's house, his community, his family, and all he possessed to a place where he showed him. That is a call. Also, we go to Exodus chapter 1 from 16, where God told Moses in the burning bush that he is going to send him to the house of Pharaoh to bring his people out from the land of Egypt. That is a call.
Yes, ma'am.
Also, you go further in Jeremiah chapter 1, following,
Yes.
God told Jeremiah that wherever he sent him, he will go. And whatever he asked him to say, he will say.
So can you tell us the challenges of living a religious life? Because from these examples, it's as if it's not easy to be
Yes.
religious.
Definitely it is not easy. First of all, when you are called, the human life, the human challenges comes in. Moses said he's a stammerer. Jeremiah said he is a child, he cannot speak. So those are the challenges. When you look at yourself, that no, I am not worthy, and I want to live my own life, because when you are called, you are asked to live some certain things.
So there's no calling without living something.
You must. It is a must, yes, that you have to live some certain life. For me, as a sister, yes, I have left the married life. Wow. So the sweetness of having a husband, the children of my own, and the family of my own is no longer there. And also in religious life, we take a vow, and that vow helps us to dedicate our life totally to God alone. So we take a vow of chastity, a vow of poverty, and a vow of obedience. Wow. It's just like a covenant.
A vow of poverty, like what does
that I don't have anything that is my own. I don't possess like car. I can't have my own personal car.
So anytime you have a car, it's
for the congregation, it's for the community. Okay. That is the possession. Yes. Also in the community, everything we have is in common. You don't have a particular thing you say, listen, even this clothes you are putting on, maybe removed from you, from your superior. Please, we need that clothes from you. There was a time I was given a beautiful wristwatch, and I was so excited and I was so happy. But I have to take permission from my superior that this wristwatch was given to me by a friend. He said, sister, there's somebody that doesn't have this watch here. You have one, so we give. I said, no, this one, you can take the old one. And she said, no, sister, you have to submit the new one. Wow. It was painful. So I have to leave something behind. So that is a vow of poverty, that you don't owe anything as your own. Can't boast of a house, can't boast of a car. And you can't come to me and say, sister, give me money. Where did I get the money?
I think that is when the self-emptying principles even come to play, because you are emptied everything.
Selflessly, yes.
You surrender, yes. You left everything on the table. And yes. So, like in our contemporary world now, apart from people that are not being sisters like you, can you like equate living religiously with your own kind of religious life? How does it match?
Yes. Like married people, even single people. Yeah, there are those who don't also hold things to themselves by acquiring a lot of things. Because Christ, this religious life is for everybody. So you don't have to, like this, you don't need. I'm sure if you go to your suitcases now, there are clothes you don't wear. So you give it out to some people who need them. So that is how God calls us. That's how Christ calls us. Because Christ possesses everything, but he doesn't hold anything. Things are there for you to use. Things are there for you to have. But you don't hold them on as if that is all in your life.
Yes. I want to ask you, what are the examples of living a religious life from the perspective of an MOJ, which is the Messengers of Justice?
So we are active apostolic. So we live in the footsteps of our father founder, Reverend Leo Okonkwo. Okay. And the charism is the self-emptying life we live. So we dedicate our life. We take the 3 vows in the congregation, and then the 4th one, that is companion to our sisters, to ourselves. Okay. First of all, we have to be there for each other, and then we leave it out to the broader society. So as an MOJ, you are being expected to take your life serious in the footsteps of our father founder in fighting injustice in our society. Like our apostolate is, as our name goes, Messengers of Justice. So we fight for injustice in our society. In our communities, we have children. And these children, they are not mates. They are not even our own biological children. They are not even our relations. But we call them masters. And you know what it means to be a master. If I call you master now, which means I am at your service. So we serve these children. And we also train them to be leaders of tomorrow who serve others. Like our motto in the school is, we educate in order to serve. So our children we have today, we don't just train them like other brothers. We train them in the kind of life we live. We pass on the spirituality, the charism of our father founder into them. We convert that into them. That when they come out tomorrow, they will be better people in the society. not just carrying the book, but people who are ready to use their hands, their legs to serve others. So as an MOJ, either a priest, a brother, a sister, it is being expected that we live our life in this self-emptying kind of life every day. Yes, we empty ourselves, we serve the widows, we serve the poor and the marginalized. We go on home visitations, hospital visitation. We go to the prisons to advocate. Because if you go to the prison today, there are people who are there innocently. So our father found that we hire a lawyer who will go and advocate for these people. So we reach out to so many people. So that's how we live our life as an MOJ every day. And we don't compete. And our father founder always tells us that our life is a life of humility. We have to follow in the footsteps of Christ, who was divine, but he emptied himself, and that's Philippians 2:5-11. Christ, who was divine, who has everything, but in obedience to do the will of his Father, he humbled himself. So an MOJ sister, brother, priest, or whoever is being expected today to follow that footstep, to follow that setup that is been there. That's what it means to be an MOJ. So may I use this opportunity to invite young girls who feel they are called to religious life, especially to our kind of life, messengers of justice, to join us either by calling or visiting. You get our contact from this media. You are free to call anytime. You are free to visit or to write, to join the messengers of justice, to continue this wonderful work of Christ.
Welcome back. In as much as you've watched this video to this point, I incur the blessings of God upon you and yours. I hope you're now convinced that living religiously is very essential and it's not easy at all, as they are called to self-emptying. So whenever you see any religious person around you, do well to appreciate them. And you that is living religiously, do well to stay true to your calling. That's a wrap on this current episode. Till next week, I remain Oguneke Motola. Stay blessed.